We begin at 4:30 with verdict watch in the Delphi murders trial. The jury has been deliberating all day today.
And this is their first full day of deliberation. So we want to bring in our 13 News legal expert, attorney, and former deputy prosecutor, Katie Jackson-Lindsay. Katie has been studying this trial day by day. So what do you expect the jury is doing on their first full day of deliberations?
Well, considering that they had a little bit of time to get started yesterday, I would expect that they probably came in today with a fresh mind and maybe took a fresh vote to see if anyone had changed their mind from yesterday or had time to process, and they may have just taken a vote to see where they were. And then I would expect that they started getting their evidence organized to review it. You know, this is a case where there's a lot of evidence to review, but there aren't a lot of elements of the crime to review because really the big issue here is identity. We know that the girls, unfortunately, were tragically killed. We know that they were killed during the course of a kidnapping. The real question is who killed them? And so they would have spent time weighing the evidence on that element. What evidence is there that Richard Allen is the killer, and what does each side's evidence look like? And is there reasonable doubt? And if so, where is that? And just sort of talking through that all day.
And speaking of reasonable doubt, we hear, the jury has to decide if Richard Allen is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Can you explain what that is?
Sure. So the jury instruction literally reads that a reasonable doubt is a fair, actual, and logical doubt based on reason and common sense. That instruction tells the jury that it is, if there's reasonable doubt, that means that you are not firmly convinced of his guilt. And so when you think about it just sort of at a large level and from a common sense standpoint, it's sort of a gut feeling. If you can't walk away thinking, I am firmly convinced in this matter that is so important, then that's reasonable doubt.
So the jury, of course, is sitting here looking at two options: guilty, not guilty. What if they just can't agree?
Well, if they can't agree, at that point, they inform the judge they can't agree. And so the judge has a lot of discretion at that point in the process. She can say, well, I don't think it's been long enough, you should keep trying. She could ask them, would further deliberations assist you? Is there anything the court or the parties can do to assist you? Because sometimes jurors come back and say, well, if we heard additional arguments from the parties, that might help. So that's an option. But if they say no, there's nothing else that you can do, or if she's already tried all those options and they come back again and they say no, then she declares them a hung jury, at which point she declares a mistrial and they have to do it all over again.
They've been deliberating now for, I believe it was 7 hours today. They've gone home for the day. They did 2 hours yesterday. Anything we can glean from that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, as trial lawyers, we have all these superstitions about short deliberations versus long deliberations. I've tried nearly 100 jury trials in my career, having done about half of those on each side of the aisle. And you just, as a trial lawyer, you convince yourself you know what's going on, but you never really do. And so I think the only thing we can glean from it is that they're doing their job. They're doing what they took an oath to do, and that's to weigh all the evidence and make a final decision once they have a firm decision.
And every jury's different.
Yeah,
exactly.
So a mistrial means that they would start this process all over again?
Yes.
And we would, with another jury from day one of the trial?
From day one of the trial with another jury, and we'd all be here all over again.
All right. All right, Katie Jackson-Lindsay, thank you so much. As always, we'll see you again later this evening.
Thank you.